In this video, I will be putting the North American Sonic CD soundtrack against its Japanese counterpart. To lay some ground rules, I'm not going to count the DA Garden, title screen, final boss, and time attack because the NA versions just reuse their respective opening/ending themes. Also, since the NA soundtrack was rushed, I'm gonna give it a handicap and use the Sonic Boom versions of the songs. With that out of the way, enjoy! Personally, I prefer the Japanese version, but I wouldn't call you crazy if you prefer the American opening. For me, there's more meaning to You Can Do Anything versus Sonic Boom from a lyrical perspective.
Never shake your ass, show your titties, girl.
It is said that Palmtree Panic is a subtropical area with big mountains and waterfalls. The NA version creates a more atmospheric take on it. I get the impression that I'm on a tropical island when I listen to it. The Japanese version, however, conveys the sense of being in a tropical resort. All in all, this round goes to the Japanese soundtrack.
And never shake your ass, show your.
This round seems to be a repeat of the last. While the North American version is more atmospheric, which is a common theme, it doesn't mean it's inherently better than the Japanese OST. On the other hand, the Japanese version is just more epic. We get a piano solo from Piano-kun, and hear the remnants of what appears to be the main chorus to the present theme. While a piano solo for a level that's depicting a bad future is a bit oxymoronic, I can't say I hate it. Japan for the W again.
Bend over, shake your ass, shake your ass.
Lastly, while I do love the happy-go feel of the Japanese Good Future, the NA version is my guilty pleasure. Palmtree Panic Good Future seems to have more going on in the Japanese version, yet the NA version seems more straightforward and primitive, if you catch my drift. All in all, North American takes the dub. Collision Chaos is described to be a pink mechanized forest, and both soundtracks went in two opposite directions. The Japanese version sought out to be cheerful in a way, reminiscent of casino levels, while the North American version wanted to be somber and abstract, partially due to Metal Sonic inevitably capturing Amy. I genuinely came to a consensus that I prefer the happy-go feel of the Japanese version though.
Bend over, shake your ass, shake your ass.
The Japanese rendition of Collision Chaos Bad Future is one of my favorite songs in the Sonic CD OST. Piano-kun is back, and even though it's a bad future, it's relatively upbeat, which isn't a bad thing by all means. It still has some eerie parts, but compared to its North American counterpart, it's child's play. Japanese soundtrack wins.
And over, shake your ass, show you.
Lastly, we have good future themes, and I don't know which one I prefer. In contrast to their bad and present counterparts, they both sorta move off in different directions. Even though the main chorus does occasionally appear from time to time, they both respectfully do not fit the level, nor fit in the good song category. This round's a tie.
And it's so bad, damn them can eat a
This round is a no-brainer. While in this case, the Japanese version is more atmospheric, the NA version gives us a slight hint of a marine feeling. Initially, the Sonic Boom version gives justice to this track. Take a listen to the difference. North American wins this round. This one is rather disappointing. The Japanese is upbeat, but it doesn't sound musically appealing. Same for the NA version. I'm getting no water vibes, just straight ass. This round's a tie.
And it's so bad, damn them can eat.
The NA version is shockingly peppy for once. But besides the chorus in the background, it's pretty unrecognizable from its counterparts. I love the guitar solo though. The Japanese version does remind me a lot of Romantic from Yu Yu Hakusho. That's honestly why I prefer it over the NA version.
And over, shake your ass, show you.
It's no secret that the Japanese version is better. While Quartz Quadrant is one of the better songs in the NA soundtrack, I feel it's poorly composed. Sure, it has rock music in an area full of, well, rocks, but it fails to maintain its main chorus. The Japanese OST wins easily.
And over, shake your ass, show you.
First off, I love the "whoa, we're gonna get this place" vocal sample they included in the Japanese OST, plus Piano-kun went hard. That's not to discredit the NA version though, it's a solid song on its own, fully encapsulating the feel of a desolate city covered in conveyor belts. But it doesn't hold a candle to the Japanese version.
And over, shake your ass, show you.
a good future, Quartz Quadrant JP version is one of the best good future themes out there. Since mining has ceased in the cavern, nature has finally reunited with all the machinery. The NA version, on the other hand, feels angelic at times, but in my opinion, the Japanese version sounds better.
Bend over, shake your ass, shake your ass.
The Japanese version puts a huge emphasis on the workbench part, as it's giving Home Depot vibes. While the North American version has a focus on the wackiness, I just want to say that the intro to this song definitely took inspiration from Michael Jackson's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
You know, I was wondering,
NA takes the win. The Japanese Bad Future does remind me a bit of the Japanese Tidal Tempest Bad Future in a way that it just sounds like metallic, upbeat slop. The NA, on the other hand, gives us a sort of feeling like a rundown warehouse, which is why I prefer the North American version. It seems the NA Good Future actually sounds like it could pass as the present theme. We can hear various workbench-like tools play in the background, hence the name Wacky Workbench, but it's not giving me the overall feeling of a good future like its Japanese counterpart. But I'll still take the North American version over the Japanese version any day. This round is a tough one to decide. While the Japanese version delivers with piano-kun, has a better atmospheric approach fitting in with the brass instruments, and overall is more groovy, the NA version is no small feat either. It gets me so pumped when I'm running, or even when I'm doing day-to-day tasks. The winner by a slight margin is the So, to the shock of nobody, the Japanese version wins. I don't know, I can never really get into the NA Bad Future no matter how hard I try. I mean, the NA has the Stardust element, while the Japanese version has the speedway approach.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your titties, girl.
Unless you time traveled 3 times in one level, I doubt you'd hear the full version of these songs. Stardust Speedway Good Future is my favorite Stardust Speedway track out of the 4 in the Japanese versions, but it doesn't come near the NA version because of this one part. Next up is Metallic Madness, and it's not even close. The Japanese version easily wins. There's zero contest unless you swallowed a massive copium pill.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your titties.
The Japanese version of The Bad Future is super groovy and upbeat, with Eggman's laugh mixed into it, gives it an eerie feeling. The North American version, on the other hand, is great, better than most Japanese songs even, but it does fall a tad bit short due to it only focusing on ambiance.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your titties.
Before we finish off Metallic Madness, let's go through the miscellaneous sounds. It's obvious that the Japanese is a better boss theme, and it just sounds like pure horror. Not in a good way.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your titties.
While the Japanese version does fit better with the weird atmosphere of the special stages, the end part to the NA version is fire, beating the Japanese version easily. The Japanese victory feels like a commercial break, while the NA feels like a legit victory. But I prefer the commercial break.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your titties.
Both game overs are creepy, with Japan's being a distorted version of You Can Do Anything, and the NA version being pure nightmare fuel. I think I'll take distorted music over horror flick music.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your titties.
The idea of progressively speeding up has been adopted by both of the Super Sneaker jingles, which is great. However, in my opinion, the NA sounds cooler, while the Japanese version feels more condensed. Although the NA is excellent, it seems as though a random guitar riff was performed. Japan's, however, is merely an additional rendition of You Can Do Anything, adding on to its consistency, and it beats the NA version.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your...
The NA version has an even though it's a good future, you still have to defeat Eggman feel to it, while the Japanese version is just happy-go-lucky. Did I forget to mention the Japanese version of Metallic Madness Good Future is my favorite Sonic CD song? While it does make sense for the final Good Future to have a, endgame feel to it, it's not inherently bad to jam out to the happiest song in the game. Japanese wins.
Bend over, shake your ass, show your...
Lastly, for all the marbles, we have the ending themes. Honestly, I'm going to be on the underdog team and say I prefer the Japanese version.
Believe in yourself inspired me countless times.
I feel like the message of the song is way easier to digest compared to Sonic Boom, in which the overall message is to choose your own adventure. The Japanese soundtrack wins. What a surprise. I may favor the Japanese OST, but that doesn't mean people aren't entitled to their own opinions. Countless hours were put into the making of the Sonic CD North American soundtrack, and this video was not intended to belittle it. Anyway, thanks for watching, stay epic gamers, bye!